So whenever someone touched it, I would go like it would go crazy and like spaz out for a second. Yeah, so now I'm good. Alright, now this thing's acting weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're good. Let me just get the link. I got the link now. Damn, my typing was loud. I mean, unless they ask in the Discord chat, but I don't know. Do you have the like the comments up? Yeah, I don't know. I got the comments up, so I'll be able to see them if anybody will ask. Yeah. All right. We are live. We should be able to good to go, but I would wait a few minutes just so people get in. So how was your day, man? What'd you do today? Yeah, I think it went well. It seemed like it went well. Like I guess I have that background stuff in a little bit, so that's when we'll like kind of find out. Yep, I just go up one and then one team will pop up. I tried to figure that out yesterday because I didn't want to be struggling right now. I should actually pull the chat up on my phone so I can just close the YouTube since I know YouTube, Google Chrome apps take a lot of RAM. All right, we can start now. We got about I think there's 5 people, 6 people in here, so we can just kick it off right now, and then I think some people will jump in. All right, so I might cut this beginning part. I don't know. I'll see if I can figure that out. But welcome, guys, to the BRO Kickoff podcast. We are hoping to start in the next couple of days, just depending on the roster. So let's just get it kicked off with Floyd's PR. And without further ado, we have the Matt Floyd, Division I quarterback. So you want to quickly explain like about your PRs because I know some people get irritated with some of the rankings, but because yours are a little different. Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah, of course. Wait, they can't hear you? Oh my god. What? Uh. Yeah, I do. Wait, talk again? Yeah. What? Oh, I think I figured it out. Talk again?
Test, test, test.
Now this
Test,
is a
test,
problem
test.
because you can hear me,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't hear you.
Bunch
Give
of
me 2 seconds, and I have it figured out.
Mm-hmm. Test, test, test.
Ask them if they can hear you now. I guess I can. I think
Test,
I
test,
think I
test,
had it on
test,
the
test.
raw setting
Okay.
because I had it instead of.
Okay, they can hear me now.
Okay, that was my fault, guys. I had it on a single channel. I guess I'm okay with computers, but there's a point to where I don't know what I'm doing. So I was
They
about.
can hear you. Let's make sure they can even hear you.
Yeah, I think yeah. As long as I can hear both of us, we should be good. I think I just messed up not putting it on multi-channel. I think because both of our audios are jumping up and down on the OBS, so it should be good. But obviously, I want to make sure before we start.
Okay, yeah, we're good to go. They can hear.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was about to invite a second thing so I could just sit in here and listen, and then it was about to get complicated. But I just messed up. So Floyd's gonna go over his criteria about the power rankings. We're sorry for that little delay, but we will get back to it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so my power rankings are a little different than you might expect. The guys that have been in BFGO in the past know it. Some of you newer guys don't quite as well, but so I don't consider user skill in any way, shape, or form. So the best user, if they have the worst team or a team that's worthy of being at the bottom of the pack, they'll be at the bottom of the pack until they win games and improve throughout the season and earn earn to climb the ladder. In the same way, you'll have some of the potentially our users that aren't all that great towards the top because they have a team that's really really good, um, and uh, and then ideally the way it'll work is they'll end up dropping down if they end up losing or whatever it is. So I don't consider user skill at all. If you're up to the top, it's because your team's performing well. If you're toward the bottom, it's because your team's not performing well. So don't be offended if because I'm not saying this person's a better user than that person is. I'm saying this person's team is performing better than the other person's team.
Yeah, but then you also have to realize it'll always even itself out. Just the fact that the good users should be winning with those teams. So while at the first it might look a little iffy to have some of the better users at the bottom, it'll always just get back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. The preseason will turn out drastically different than towards the middle of the season or into the season it'll be drastically different.
Yeah, exactly. So, you want to reveal number 32?
Yeah, so we're gonna go from worst to best right now. So the consensus across pretty much every single power ranking that I looked at, every single power ranking that I could find from anybody at all, and I have to agree, is going to be the Dolphins. I think they just have a roster that is nowhere near up to snuff to that's capable of winning ball games, and they're going to really struggle this year. So I think they're a couple years from now, they're rebuild. They need a very aggressive rebuild. They have chances to climb up, but right now they're just lacking star power, and they're just lacking ability to probably win games. I can't imagine them winning many games this year.
Yeah, I basically kind of agree with you because, I mean, HBK is a good user, but not taking user skill into account, the Dolphins are just kind of a tough team. They have some nice, like, solid young pieces, but none of those young people, like, I'd be surprised if they had, like, maybe 6 people over 80 overall, maybe 7.
Yeah.
So just competing, especially in that division, the Jets got a lot better, and obviously the Patriots. There's going to be no pass rush against the Patriots, and once Tom Brady's X Factor kicks in, that's basically over with.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
that's where I'm at too. I think the one thing that could be their saving grace is that, I mean, the Patriots are the clear front runner of that division.
Yeah.
Then you got the Jets and the Bills. I mean,
and at least
with
both
HBK
those teams
using them, he could probably up their game to some degree. But I think those could probably be competitive games if they find a way to win the majority of those games, 3-4 of those games, and then squeak out a couple more wins.
It's just all the teams that division have star power, and then this team just really has none.
Yeah, that's
basically what it just comes down to. But we can see. So we can go to number 31 now.
Okay, so 31 is going to be the New York Football Giants. Like they traded away Star power traded away OBJ, but they ended up getting Jabril Peppers and the right guard Ziegler in that kind of dual trade. But I think I just there's another team that's lacking some power, trading away your star power and replacing it with Golden Tate.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the greatest replacement. It'll be interesting to see Eli Manning versus Daniel Jones, who's going to end up playing. Offensive line is just terrible, but I think one player on that team that's gonna really be able to give them a shot is going to be the tight end Evan Ingram. Fast, really really good, really solid talent in the middle down the field, and if they can hit passes down there, maybe they can find some matches they like.
Yeah, Evan Ingram's going to be big for developing Daniel
Yeah, and
Jones.
then you lose Landy Collins too. Just let him walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
When I heard they could have got at least a second round pick for him before the trade deadline, which is crazy because then they trade away. I know you're not the biggest fan of Odell, but you trade away a superstar receiver in the league for a 17th pick, which they turned into a defensive tackle, which they traded away probably the best run stopping defensive tackle in the game. And then they draft the defensive tackle and get Jabril Peppers. So they're just in a bad spot.
Yeah, just another team that's just lacking talent. Going to need a rebuild, need an aggressive rebuild. Maybe next year, not this year though.
Yeah, but that's definitely another team with a lot of young talent that you can develop, which is always good. Yeah. And then obviously you have the best running back in the game, which I'm sure as long as you run the ball with him, he should be a 99 by year at least 2-3.
Yeah, well, and the counter problem, the problem that the Giants have, the Dolphins don't have, is that the Giants are in a division that is extremely strong.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they'll be able to compete with the Redskins. Maybe.
Yeah, with that Eagles and the Cowboys roster, two of the best rosters in the game.
Right. Not a chance.
That's definitely tough.
Not a chance. They're not happening.
We can move to 30.
Going to number 30 is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a team that I absolutely expect to climb the charts as the season goes on. Drift is a fantastic user, and I think he's going to get the team right. But I just didn't feel like looking at their additions over the offseason that they really did all that much aside from the draft. Losing Vontae Burfict to the Raiders might not have been all that helpful. I just don't think they can compete in that division at this very moment. And I think in the long run they're going to need a proper quarterback to take them to the next level.
Yeah, I know Drift is a huge fan of Andy Dalton. He's Andy Dalton truther, but I guess we'll kind of find out if he can really be the future. And it's a good thing we're not doing the pre-existing injuries, so at least Jonah Williams will be healthy, which was kind of a big factor for a lot of people. So, because Jonah Williams is a star, he's a stud.
Yeah.
So protecting Andy Dalton's gonna be key.
Yeah, but I think one thing I had in my summary is when your quarterback is Andy Dalton, is it even? I mean, what's the point of protecting?
I just read that. Yeah, that could be a team that's looking to move on to a quarterback in a class with Tua, a pretty deep quarterback class.
Yeah, there's some solid quarterbacks coming up in this next class. So
yeah, but I expect Drift to move the Bengals up.
Me too.
A little bit, but you never know. It's a new Madden.
So then at 29, I have the Detroit Lions. I think you've got some good pieces on the defense that could keep them in ball games. And Matt Stafford, the gunslinger Matt Stafford, can give you opportunities to win. But just overall in that division, with the Bears, the Vikings, Packers, they're just the clear bottom dweller, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they did make. I like some of the moves they made, but that division is just stacked. So.
Yeah.
It's just so much talent in that division. It's ridiculous.
You got Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, pretty great, pretty good team, pretty good roster. The Bears, stout defense, good enough offense to compete. And then the Vikings, of course, are a team that's got a lot of the pieces of capability to win now, but just haven't put together. And then the Lions are, drastically farther behind that. So it was really easy to put them down here.
Yeah, and one thing is we've never even, at least most of the users in here, haven't really seen Bob Quinn play at all. because he's a SOS
that's a key
user.
factor.
So I think actually Holland is in that. But Holland is the Bears. He's also an SOS user. So they're gonna have some familiarity with each other. But people that have to play them early in the season, they really don't really know their play styles. Like a lot of us know kind of what we like. Like obviously it's a new game, but still like people have tendencies and you can catch on. But these two players are new, so they can make some early upsets.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think right towards the beginning of the season, I think you're going to see a lot of wins by people you might not have expected, just because people are going to be learning play styles, people are going to be learning the game. There'll be opportunities to steal away a couple of victories that could down the stretch could have played big.
They'll definitely matter, especially if you have a lot of division games early. Getting those early wins of your division, people could mean everything. And everyone's at the same level. Like obviously, some of us play more like test games, but test games are completely different. We're not using our teams usually. Most of us aren't taking it too seriously because it doesn't matter at all. So that could be where a lot of upsets happen. Definitely early in the season.
Absolutely.
I want to move
so then going to 28, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've got a team that has a good amount of talent, but quarterback that hasn't really reached the potential.
We have to change that user, but
oh yeah, some of these just shouldn't have changed. But yeah, so I mean, you've got an above-average quarterback, but you've got a lot of pieces on that defense that they got in the draft that can give them some hope. A lot of speed. Devin White in the middle is going to be freaking phenomenal. And then Sean Bunting, cornerback, I think is going to be a good addition for the Bucs to try to counter the big physical receivers that dominate that division, like Julio Jones, like Michael Thomas. This is the kind of cornerback that you needed, a big, fast, strong, physical corner to match up with him. And then, of course, Mike Evans, stud, and Chris Godwin, another great option on the outside. They've got a great receiving core, and I mean, if they can get things together and get the ball rolling, and again, I don't know Knight, none of us do, so he could be an all-worldy player and make the Bucs into a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they definitely have the offense to do it, but in such a offense-heavy division with such a young defense is tough. But having so much speed on defense will definitely help, including like adding Devin White and pairing up with Levante David. It's going to be hard to run outside or even on the inside, but.
Right. The big thing they're lacking is obviously a pass rush. And JPP is okay, but they're just going to see how they can handle that.
Yeah, and then like you said, those corners start like those very young corners, low 70s, matching up with Julio and Michael Thomas, and then even the Panthers receiving core isn't terrible. Like DJ Moore is definitely a sleeper. He could definitely. So that'll be tough, is because you don't have a pass rush and you don't have the pass coverage. Like if you have a good pass rush but bad pass coverage, then you can kind of get away because the pass rush will get there quick.
Right.
But if you don't have either, you can kind of get torn up.
They better be blitzing a decent amount.
Yeah, you can give them some tips from last year.
Don't ask me. All right, then 27, I've got the Tennessee Titans. There's another team that's got a lot of difficulties and a lot of struggles. I mean, Adam Humphries was a great addition. AJ Brown on the outside core. When you got Marcus Mariota, who struggles to make it through a season. Brian Tannehill is the backup. And I don't know. There's just a steep drop off, but there's some decent pieces on that defense that can help them. But that's I've gotten to the bottom.
Yeah, I see in your notes you said I'll go ahead and guess that this is Mariota's final season. And as a person where if Breeze might retire, his feet, which doesn't make sense. But I don't know. We'll see if he can. Oh, I actually just revealed doesn't have the best. I mean, he has a solid arm. It's just I don't know. In real life, he's just not like that. Like I feel like he regressed since college.
Yeah.
It's like he's almost scared to run. He's very timid. Like in college, he was my favorite player ever in college. I loved watching him.
He was a stud. Yeah, so then you got to go to the Bills. They added a lot of pieces in the free agency. And then, of course, Ed Oliver in the draft, great piece, but they really need Ed Oliver to perform. He's got to be that pass rusher, that pass rush guy that we're talking about, where you have to have a pass rusher in this game in order to do well. And then I'm not sold on Josh Allen in any way, shape, or form, but, we got John Brown on the outside now, so we might be able to blow past some secondary pieces and get some long balls in there. Josh Allen can throw it a mile long, so that could play his
Ed Oliver is going to be a huge piece. Flynn's gotta work on developing him. He needs to be his top. Like you have in the training, you have like the top 3 players. He needs to be in there for 2 years. Like Ed Oliver can be one of the best defensive tackles in the game.
Yeah,
if you develop him right, he's just a freak. Yeah, maybe better than Aaron Donald. Boof.
He might end up being.
Yeah, probably not. But
yeah, long stretch. And then 25, we got the Redskins. This was a difficult one. I think they've got a lot of good pieces, a lot of good pieces on the offense and the defense. The problem is I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, and we don't know Connor Grab at all either, the user. So I think this is a team that should probably go with Case Keenum. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Let Haskins take a year to learn. Take a year to learn from Case Keenum, especially with our end in that division. But you got Montez Sweat, Landon Collins on the defense now, and those are going to be huge. The Redskins.
Yeah, it's just they're in such a tough division. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the direction the Redskins are going. Case Keenum has a noodle arm. So, but I think he has one of the best play actions in the game. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I suspect it's going to end up being Haskins. That's what I would suspect. But I think it would be wise to sit him behind Keenum for a year, let him learn a little bit, and get him those +5 awareness boosts, and potentially even more through some other things like the scenario engine, which we'll go over later.
Yeah, because that one thing in the scenario engine, I'm not going to ruin it, but there's one that we can talk about it later. But if
there's
Haskins,
one that's specific for quarterbacks.
Yeah, and if Haskins got that would kind of ruin his development. Or if he got the one that helps, he could really help his development. So yeah, no, definitely waiting. Probably should at least wait a little bit. Yep.
So then going to 24, I've got the Oakland Raiders, and this was another difficult one. In our division in the FC West, it's definitely the worst of the 4 teams, and that's not dogging the Raiders at all, because I'm just saying the teams in the AFC West are pretty good. So they just aren't up to the same level as the other 3 at the moment. But they've got some great freaking pieces, as we know, the 3 first-round draft picks. Adding in Brandon Marshall and Vontaze Burfict. I think those can be some key players in stopping the run, which is, as we know, is a little too easy in Madden 20. So having those guys there, they can probably do some damage in the inside. And I think Josh Jacobs will be a really good running back especially in this new game for them. And then, of course, you got AB. So it's just a matter of whether Derek Carr can get him the ball accurately or not. I think Chino. I think you guys have said he's a good user, but
he's solid.
If we can double AB, it'll probably have to be a standard type of defense when you play.
Yeah. AB is disgusting.
You might be able to render him useless and that whole team useless.
Yeah, because the other receivers are Tyrell Williams, who's more of a deep threat, and then they have Hunter Renfrow in the slot. So
yeah,
there's definitely. I mean, they took a lot of good players in the draft, a lot of more high floor players that they know won't bust, which is good and bad. But
yeah, well then they got a decent offensive line too, but you got Richie Incognito they picked up, and he's suspended for the first couple of games.
Yeah.
And so that'll hurt. But I mean, you got the team with the hard knocks. Everybody's watching it right now. Everybody's about it. So maybe they'll overperform and be the darling of the NFL.
Yeah, Chino needs to keep Ronald Ollie though. He didn't deserve it.
Bring him back. Last chance viewpoint 2.0.
You want to go to 23?
Yep, 23.
Well, I just looked at this one. This one's controversial.
Yeah, so 23 is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. Now, again, this is a PR based off of the team, not based off the user. I know for a fact TCG is going to make them climb up the charts pretty quickly, especially with that offense in that with those weapons that he's got for Kyler Murray. But looking at the roster, you gotta wonder if Kyler Murray can do it at this moment. This at the end of the preseason, you have to wonder if Kyler Murray is going to be able to do it, if that experiment is going to have pan out. And so that's why I got him down here at 23. But obviously you've got a very talented team with freaking star power all over the place. Pat Peterson, Byron Murphy, um, Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler. You've got some crazy receiving options. I think they just picked up Michael Crabtree too.
Yeah, I think they're like.
Was that right?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, I think it was Michael Crabtree.
I think it is Michael Crabtree. And you got Terrell Suggs, Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones is a freaking monster off the edge.
Yeah. He'd be such a higher overall if he wasn't an outside linebacker in Madden.
Yeah, fast as hell.
To correct y'all on the Michael Crabtree, I don't think he actually signed yet.
Oh, he just worked out with them.
Yeah, it was something like that, and I don't think it's official.
Okay, well, if they end up picking him up, then you've got just another threat out there. This is pretty good. But I think Pat Peterson is suspended for a decent amount of games.
Yeah, he is, which that's going to be big. Like, Pat Pete is arguably the best corner in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And not having him and relying on Byron Murphy to be number one corner, I think they have a slot corner. I can't remember his name, but he's decent too, but he's more of a slot corner. So whoever that third corner is going to be, because basically nickel defense is the new base defense, that second corner is going to really need to play good.
Right. Well, and with going back to it, the capabilities for their quarterbacks to run, it's going to be a nightmare for opposing defenses having to cover Murray. But it's just a matter of whether you can hit the passes or not. And if there's ways to get them rattled, because I don't think that offensive line is all that great. So if you can get them rattled early in the game, he might be useless the rest of the time.
Yeah, Kyler Murray isn't. I mean, he's solid at throwing, but I've played a few games with him, and when you get him rattled, he really starts missing some passes, which is realistic. He's small. Kind of gonna be hard for him in real life to adjust, but it's just that speed that he has, because when you press the L2 to tuck the ball and run, fast quarterbacks get really fast. So
yeah, really, really fast, really quick.
If you can move around in the pocket with Kyler Murray and you just get free running lanes, I could see Kyler Murray leading the league for quarterbacks and rushing. Him or Lamar, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I gotta take a break. I'll be back in a bit.
No problem. So now, Boof, are you here?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, Boof. So, you're technically going to be our first guest on the podcast.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
All right. Just so Floyd has to take care of his son real quick. So, I'm going to mute I'm going to mute Floyd on mine. So, let me know when he gets back.
Okay.
Cuz so his baby's not in the background. No offense. But so I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Yep.
All right, first one. I know most people know. Who's your favorite player in the NFL?
In the NFL right now, it's tough because I do like. What? I know it's Aaron Donald, right?
Yeah.
But it's also Cooper Kupp. And
really?
I say that because
I love Cooper Kupp.
I mean, dude, Eastern Washington, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
He climbed up the ranks. I mean, even his rookie season, he had some big moments, but a lot of those big moments were on Jared Goff, where they weren't necessarily the best throw.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, he was on pace for 1,000 yards, as a slot receiver. And unfortunately, he got he tore his ACL, but he's looking pretty strong in camp right now. So it's Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. No, Jared Goff definitely missed him. Like, you could tell Jared Goff was different when he got hurt.
Yeah, and I think that messed up their whole game plan. I mean, they did run a ton of the whole season, throughout the season, but still, I mean, without his true safety valve and Cooper Kupp, Jared Goff looked like a deer in headlights, man.
And he dominated at Eastern Washington. I remember because his quarterback Vernon Adams transferred to Oregon for 1 year. That's when I kind of
Mm-hmm.
started. That's when I watched Little Eastern Washington, and then the year after that, they actually played Eastern Washington versus Oregon. I think Cooper Kupp had like 184 yards. So
Oh man,
yeah, that
yeah,
definitely put
dude.
him
He's
on the map for me. At
and
least.
the thing that you notice with the Rams, they'll go after a lot of the Senior Bowl guys. So if a guy ends up being in, of course, the Senior Bowl, they'll end up drafting him. So and Cooper Cup was there at the Senior Bowl, and
Yeah,
they have a lot of they have a lot of hope for him. Coming off that injury.
yeah. Drafting those type of players is just basically like usually if you make the Senior Bowl, you're a very high character player. Because
Yeah, I mean,
spending
you
four
stay
years at
all
one
4
school,
years.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very
I
rare
mean,
nowadays.
and I would say it's more of a development thing too, because they come in with a little bit more maturity. Um, you saw them draft Greg Robinson, and I don't believe he went to the Senior Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you want to think about that stuff, he was very young, he was very unpolished, he was a raw talent, and he didn't work out. They were projecting him to be the next Orlando Pace, and that never happened. So I mean, him and Jesus Christ, Jason Smith. Oh my God, don't even remind me of that guy. Sick and Bears though.
All right, let's get to.
uh,
All right, what are you expecting from your team year one?
um, man, it's tough. I feel like I could compete, but I think I'm just missing a few pieces.
Yeah.
You saw the defense that I made with the Jets, man. That was like even if I'm not winning, guys, I enjoy the team building aspect of Madden. So I mean, it's like my backup plan. It's like, well, you know what, I might suck, but I'm gonna make a badass team, and
Yeah.
I should let you take over one of the teams. Maybe in year 6. So just play with the team I built and see what
But
you could do with
the
them.
thing
But
with you is honestly, a lot of the mistakes that you made in Madden 19 were from just linebackers making stupid interceptions because you thought you could throw it. But in this game, you can throw it. And when me and you played, you for the most part made very smart decisions the whole game. I mean, Philip Lindsay was destroying me. I literally couldn't stop that man. But I don't know. I think you're the commish. So saying you're a sleeper, I feel like people would just say I'm trying to ride your dick or something. But like honestly, you could definitely make some upsets year one, and then once you get those few more pieces, develop the little offense a little more because you are very young on the offense. You could probably make a run especially when the Chargers in your division and also the Chiefs when they have to pay a bunch of people, they're gonna lose a lot of their assets, and you
yeah, I
have you
think
have money.
what we're looking at from a owner standpoint, this is me talking as the owner of
Yeah.
the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs contract with Mahomes will probably break the Chiefs.
Oh,
That's no
100%.
disrespect to Shadow.
Because he's gonna need the 40 mil. He's gonna be the first quarterback that makes 40. And what's up, Shadow?
Yeah.
And
Um,
imagine having a quarterback making 40 mil in Madden. That means his last year he's gonna make like 64.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. Why?
Which is
Like, why can't they just make?
that's like
great,
isn't that like
content.
1/4 of the cap almost
Yeah.
to one player?
No, no, dude, that's almost what? Let's see.
Because what is it right now? 180.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's about a quarter
So
of
it's
the cap.
wait if it's at 180, it's 1/3 of your cap at one player. Which
No, it's a quarter. It's a quarter.
Oh, okay.
Like a quarter and a half, something like that, man. I'm not a mathematician.
well yeah, but no matter.
Back or develop Easton Stick, he might be in a solid spot because Philip Rivers comes off the books, and then you plug in, you know, and the way we have the mentorship set up, it
Yeah.
benefits Floyd. So he'll play. Let's say Philip Rivers retires after 2 seasons. Easton Stick's still got 2 seasons on that rookie contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
So
you also have to think Desmond King, probably the best or one of the best slot corners in the game. He has to play Derwin James, which he'll probably become one of the highest paid safeties that's paid. Joey Bosa.
And those
Melvin Ingram
those
will stay
are
in contract.
and it's kind of like what Drift was talking about when I had him on the podcast. Um, you want that solid corner, the solid safety. You want
Yeah.
a linebacker. You want the quarterback, and you want a weapon for that quarterback. So I mean, maybe he lets Desmond King go, and he
Yeah.
keeps Derwin James.
I mean,
Um,
I would definitely
Joey
rather
Bosa
have
is all
Derwin
he
James.
needs, and I would rather have Joey Bosa instead of Desmond King as
Oh, of
well,
course,
instead of
because
paying that one guy.
Desmond King is arguably the best slot corner in the game, but you can draft a slot corner in the round one, but you can't draft a Derwin James, especially if you're picking later in the first round.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah,
So I mean,
Ethan, yeah, the Raiders are at 24, but we have to remember in Floyd's power rankings, he's not taking user skill into account at all. So once games actually start playing, these standings will probably change a lot. But all right, keep going.
yeah, that's actually a smart way to do it.
Yeah, but because Foos is user skill based, right? Also,
Mhm.
so now we have kind of both spectrums, which I mean, sooner or later they end up being kind of the same because obviously the teams will win and then Floyd will make them better. But Foos just starts different.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you want to keep going in that question?
Yeah. So
keep
going
going.
back, what's my plan for the Broncos?
Yeah.
Um, it's more like you've seen Moneyball.
Yeah.
I want to be smart with my money this time. I want to find the right players, the plug and play. I don't want to necessarily maybe like the Patriots way. Don't hold on to a guy too long.
Yep.
And that's so maybe some of you guys
Well,
get some
now
good
with
free
our
agents off.
comp picks that are not comp picks, but our comp like to the backup players, letting players go isn't that terrible of an idea, especially if they're really good.
And it's more realistic. How many times have you seen a team, keep all their players aside from the Rams right now?
Exactly.
But like I said, the way the Rams structure all the contracts, which you can't do in Madden, they're able to pay these guys and front load, back load, all that stuff. But that's neither here nor there. I want to be able to, maybe have some 60s players in my lineup every year. Don't always depend on that high 90s player. Maybe get a wide receiver. I think I do need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Noah Fant is probably going to be like my biggest weapon, um, aside from the rushing game, which I think I can get going.
No, you definitely can get it going.
I got weapons, man, and it's just a matter of developing Drew Lock into a solid quarterback.
Yeah. Well, now with the mentorship, it's not even a bad thing to start Flacco, because then you'll raise
It's not.
Lock at least an overall, if not two, before he has to come in and play.
And to be honest, there's certain quarterbacks in the game. I don't know if it's like the way they throw. Like Carson Wentz is terrible for me. He just throws his release is so weird. But Philip Rivers, when I played with him, signed him with the Jets in BFGO. He worked out great for me. And, I was still throwing the stupid picks that happened. But then when I had Sam Darnold, it just felt weird.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they all
it
definitely
just
have
wasn't
different
the same.
throwing motions, which
Yeah.
you can get used to, but if you really don't like it, that's it's gonna be a struggle. But one of the things I was actually gonna say about you is like your offense is super young, at least like your core, like Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton, like you can develop those guys, and then Tim Patrick. I mean, I don't know how high of overall he would be, but you can just develop all those guys while Locke is sitting behind, and then when they're high overalls and Locke comes in, he'll have a bunch of targets that are solid players.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of like I mean, in no way am I comparing Joe Flacco to Brett Favre, but when the Packers finally gave the team to Aaron Rodgers, he had some solid guys on there still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I think that's what we're gonna shoot for with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. I'm gonna try to be a little bit smarter with everything.
All right.
Try not to force passes.
I mean, with this game, you can force them a little more, but It's not even forcing. It's the right read. It's just the linebackers aren't stupid. But next question. What player on your team are you most excited to use or develop?
This is another weird one. Aside from Philip Lindsay, uh, I'm excited to use Chris Harris, and I think I'm going to use more cornerback this season. Yeah, man. So I actually like it. I do. I think I do have to fix the camera angle so I can see more of the cornerback.
Yeah,
But
zoom out
man. I mean,
one more.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you play man, you could shut down one side of the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost right. Like you think about it. If you're not following the wide receiver, because what takes about 2 seconds for that route to actually develop before they cross over.
Yeah.
If they start going to the other side of the field, and if I play, let's say like a zone flat, I'll just stay right there, cover 2.
Yeah. So you use the outside corner though?
Yeah, it's. I'm still playing with it a little.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because I know a lot of people use the inside corner, but outside corner, that's interesting.
Yeah, man, and I think that's the way to go right now, especially because corners aren't getting that speed boost the way they used to. Well, they're still getting it, but it's not as intense as it was before, where you'd be right on the wide receiver if you were way behind him. So that's another thing to look out for. And of course, when I play Tyreek Hill, I'm gonna stick on. I gotta stick on his ass.
Yeah, because he's gonna be sending him deep every play.
Yes, exactly.
Which is not a bad idea.
Yeah, so that's the position I like using the most right now.
So I think you said this on your podcast actually, but who do you think will win the Super Bowl year 1?
I did, and I have.
I couldn't remember. Lil Shadow.
I got Lil Shadow, and I actually said that in the other podcast.
Yeah, I remember hearing it, but I couldn't remember exactly. That's why I still asked it.
So there, Lil Shadow. What more do you want from me, man? I picked you. I didn't pick you, but you won the Madden giveaway.
Hey, Ethan or Lil Shadow in the chat saying, "I dare you to man up on Hill."
I might use my safety at that point, though, buddy. I'll double up on him.
Yeah, you might want, if you run man, you might want to use it as a safety, and if you see him going straight, just run backwards straight with him.
Well, shoot, I mean, even in that case, I mean, I guess I could just run cover 1. You know what I'm saying? And double up on instead of switch from the running back to the to Tyreek Hill. But then that leaves it open. Yeah, I gotta be praying that he blocks him.
Yeah, I mean playing Patrick Mahomes is gonna be tough just because him on a rookie deal is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
because he's one of the best quarterbacks especially with just how crazy his arm talent is in this game. He's gonna be.
Yeah, they overhyped him.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for you.
Can we simulate the Madden curse?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, simulate the Madden curse. Make him like a 78.
Yeah, like
no X factors.
Broke up with his girlfriend, and now he doesn't want to show up to practice.
He would die if his girlfriend left him. He loves her. I swear.
Yeah, he gained 30 pounds. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
We should vote for a Madden cover every single game, and then whoever gets the Madden cover gets the curse.
Man, we should do that, dude. Dude, that's a great idea. What we do is
or we do it random if they get the curse.
80%. We do the Madden cover. It'll be like the top. Let's see, the defensive player of the year, the offensive player of the year, right?
Yeah.
Those top players, and then we put them in a little raffle, and then the person that gets it, we lower their injury rating by like 30.
That'd be crazy
for the whole season, dude. I don't know. I mean, everyone will be into it until it happens to their player, and then they're gonna be pissed off. I'm for it. I don't care.
That'd be so funny, bro.
That'd be hilarious, dude. It'd bring a new element to the realism online. Because the Madden curse is real. I don't care if you believe it or not.
No, it definitely is. Like whether it's like super subtle or if it's ruining a career like Peyton Hillis, like it is real.
Oh my god, dude, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yak, we were getting this. Floyd. he has to explain the scenario engine because I mean I understand it, but he understands all like the inside it, and he is currently with his baby, so that's why we are just taking guests right now and asking them a few questions and just seeing what they're excited for the league. I mean, we have Boof on, and he's already talked a lot about, so a lot of his questions were already answered, but I'm going to get Drift on pretty soon, and then I don't think you've heard these questions from him.
So you had four more, not four more. You had two more questions for me.
Yes, sir. Well, one of them was.
You said you had 5.
Yeah, one of them was the biggest rival, but obviously, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Floyd.
Yeah, it's Floyd.
Oh, Yak's saying to put in our scenario engine, we should put the Madden curse.
I mean, we could do that, man. I'm down for putting it in. We just need people to. That's something we want people to vote on.
All right, last question. This one's kind of a hot take.
Okay.
Who of the top users in Madden 19 are gonna fall off? It can be more than one, but I'm just asking for one. They're not the fall off to terrible, but fall to average.
Whoever I think is gonna have a rough year.
Yeah, maybe just year 1 or 2, but. And yeah, Shadow, we're gonna show off the rest of the power rankings, but we're waiting for Floyd to get back. If he tells me he can't come back, then I will go over them for him because he has all his notes. But we'll see.
Trying to think of all the top users.
No, yeah, that's fine.
I could think of like 5 off the top of my head, but it's hard to see any of them falling off. So I guess, and man, it's weird because it's a tie for me. So I'm gonna say either one, and this is strategically for him. It's TCG.
Okay.
But I mean that team is kind of stacked, like for Madden.
Yeah, like especially after year 1. Like once you start developing the players, it's stacked.
I think he falls off just for 1 year, and then he'll come back the following year. He did that one time, didn't he? Like with the Oakland Raiders, he was.
Yeah.
He was trash with the Oakland Raiders, and then he came back.
Yeah, he was. I think he like missed like a few games, and then he came back and was trash or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, he did actually. I do remember that now. That was weird.
Yeah.
I thought he was trash, to be honest.
Yeah. So the next, man, he's probably gonna chew my ass about it, but I'd say it's Drift. I think his conference or division is a little bit tougher than the rest. He's got a little bit more guys who can actually play in there. And King Mark, we gotta stop mentioning you, man. We're giving you like some free clout right now.
No,
every one of the podcasts. Yeah, man, in every one of the podcasts, though, he's getting mentioned, and that's because he is. He can surprise some people.
No, he definitely can.
So I mean, you got Drift in there, but I think he might fall off a little bit just because of the competitiveness of his division.
No offense to King Mark, but when I went into that playoff game in 19, I kind of overlooked him, and he debatably should have won, or at least kept the game a lot closer than it was. I think I ended up winning by 2 scores, but he missed 2 field goals. So this is like I definitely underestimated him, but I'm never underestimating him again. And him with, I'm happy he's in the opposite conference, but I think I think that division's really cool because all the people are playing with teams they like. Besides what's the other team? Yeah. But I think I do think that's really cool. So I think him with the Ravens. He had the Eagles last game, so this is a completely different quarterback to him. And Ethan just said that TCG went from 9-1 to 10-6 and missed the playoffs. So that is.
Oh wait, you know what? I gotta take that back about you. No, because it's possible. You know, like I said, and this is all hypothetical. You know, TCG could fall off. Yeah. But I have him in the Super Bowl. I have Lil beating him in the Super Bowl. So.
So you just contradicting your prediction.
You gotta remember that. Yeah, that was my prediction.
You had him in your prediction taking the Cardinals to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's just that roster, year one, no offensive line.
He's got Kyler Murray. You know how TCG plays. Yeah, dude, the line will be perfectly fine. He can have the Cowboys' O line, and he's gonna roll out with Kyler Murray and run. You know what I'm saying? There's no maybe I'm taking shots. I'm taking shots right now. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
He can't stay in the
oh,
pocket. He's not a pocket guy.
Marcus Williams is. Oh, that's King Mark. Oh yeah, you did lose once in that game. I was wondering who Marcus Williams was. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, let's find him on Facebook real quick. Pull it up for the stream. But no, I'm playing. But yeah, that was all the questions I had for you. You can stay in here if you want, though. I'm just gonna bring Drift in, ask him the same few questions, and then if Floyd doesn't come back soon,
yeah, you might have to, man.
I might have to go over the rest of the league or the PR for him. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he has his reasoning there, so I can basically just read it for him.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna take a break. Just let me know if you want me to come back on.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely come in when if Floyd doesn't come back, you could help me just discuss the power rankings, so I'm not just talking to myself.
Yeah, got you, brother. Let me know.
All right. Yeah, you have a good one. I'll at you.
Cool.
All right, now we're waiting for Drift to join. I'm gonna ask him a few questions. So if you guys wanna bring some stuff in the chat, ask a few questions. Or actually, I'll cover the questions that who sent to me. Fu sent to me. He sent. First one was, what teams do you think could win the division that could?
All right.
Oh well, never mind. He is here. So.
I was ready. I was listening to the podcast, so I was a little behind.
No, you're fine. All right. So I'm gonna ask you the same 5 questions I asked Booth, but you haven't talked about them at all, so I actually will be surprised by your answers. Unlike Booth, who I think answered 3 out of the 5 questions on his own little podcast.
Okay,
so,
cool.
First question, I'll say, who do you consider your biggest rival in Madden?
In Madden or like my division?
No, in Madden, like a user.
I don't know. Probably you, because I think you're the only user that I have more losses to than wins.
Yeah, and we played a lot.
Yeah, we have played a lot, so probably you out of everybody.
Because we were in the same, we played like 3 times in TFGO.
Yeah. TCG's close second, but he's always been in a different division than mine, except for the TFGO. He was the Raiders, but I only played the first season in TFGO.
Yeah.
And he was out. He didn't even have his PlayStation for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think this is the first league that we will rarely ever play.
Right. Yeah, because you're in the complete opposite division.
Yeah. But all right. So next question. I'm sure it's gonna be a Bengal, but who's your favorite player in the NFL right now?
Ooh, in the entire NFL. I don't know. I'm not a big players guy, but
you're more of a Bengals kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, but fuck. Shit. Maybe Joe Mixon. I don't know. I just like Joe Mixon just because of not necessarily how good he is, but he's like the first Bengal in a long time that like is just real excited and fucking just makes people. I don't know. He's always cheering people on in practice all the time.
No, I definitely like him in real life. I liked him because he was the one that had some issues, right, in college.
Yeah, he like dropped a bitch. And freshman year.
Yeah, but I mean, it was freshman year.
She called him like the N-word at like a restaurant. And he like popped her and walked out.
Yeah, I've always liked him in the NFL though. He's always been like a cool guy. Seems like
he definitely cleaned up his shit. He hasn't done anything since.
Yeah, he hasn't even really been. He's not even really in the headlines much. He kind of just stays off the. Well, I mean, stays off the radar in bad ways, but he's obviously one of the best backs. If he had a good line, I could see him getting in the conversation for a top 5 back.
Well, the crazy thing is he led the AFC in rushing last night.
Yeah, with a terrible line too.
Terrible line.
I mean, if you guys had Jonah Williams, He could. I mean, it's one player,
Yeah.
but
Well,
he was gonna make a big
I
difference
don't
to
know.
me.
Right. The hope is that because I mean Sean okay, the Rams line was ass before McVay got there because he implemented a heavy run system with play action that
Yeah.
fixed a lot of like their line outside of signing Andrew Whitler. Obviously, that fucking fixed the left tackle position. But
Yeah.
like the other guys there were pretty much trash, and then the scheme made him look a lot better. So if Zach Taylor can do anything similar to that, it would be beneficial to Joe Mixon. So
Yeah. Like when you're talking about, I know because he has the Bengals pretty low on the power rankings. I don't know if you saw earlier, but
yeah, I
he has you
noticed
at
that
yeah,
earlier.
he has you at 30.
That's fine. That's just a
Which
roster.
I mean, it's roster thing, but I do think a lot of people really underrate them. They have a lot of playmakers.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually think losing Vontaze Burfict was fine. He's been ass the last 2 seasons. His PFF grades are trash. He can't tackle, so I thought losing him was a plus. Um, and I didn't think they really needed to get anybody. They just needed to get healthy. That was the problem. They were just injured.
yeah, and I mean, it's already starting this year again in real life.
Right, exactly. 19 players on IR to end the season. You're not gonna really do much. So I don't know if AJ Green comes back and he's healthy, and they pull a game or two before he comes back, then they'll be sitting pretty good. But yeah, Jonah Williams, that fucking injury, that was tough.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, he was gonna be huge for you guys. So
Yeah, and I didn't really even like what they were trying to do with him either. They tried to they were gonna put him at left tackle and move Cordy again to left guard, and that was just to me that was stupid. I think they should have just put him at right tackle instead of re-signing Bobby Hart, and then boom, and you got your both tackles are solidified. Moving Cordy Glenn to left guard is just dumb because then you're just paying a left tackle to play left guard. That's just a waste of money.
yeah, I mean,
So
that was that was interesting, but I don't know. I think the Bengals could. They might not make the playoffs, but they will definitely pull off some upsets. Just because, I mean, if they get healthy, because
yeah,
obviously,
I think they'll definitely win at least 6 games in real life.
yeah. Because I honestly, I'm a really big fan of William Jackson too. Like, kind of like what type of player he is.
Yeah, and Carl Lawson's apparently been going nuts in camp, so I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he was a
He's fucking insane in
because he
Madden though.
yeah
He's crazy
he's
in
like a
Madden.
glitch in Madden, but in real life, I don't know. He just never really got it together, I guess. But I mean, if he starts going off, that pass rush or that defensive line in general, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Right.
Because Geno Atkins is and Dunlap are both, I would say, because they play for the Bengals, probably underrated.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get when you play for a small market team. It's hard unless you're winning.
Yeah,
So,
unless you're a small market that's winning, it's tough.
yeah. But, yeah. What's the next question?
All right, the next question is, what is the most like, who on your team are you most excited to play with or develop?
Oh, no, it's not John Ross. Fucking, I don't know, man. There's probably Jesse Bates, to be honest. You know, I only had one season with him in TFGO, and he was rated at like a 72 because that was before the season started, so
Yeah.
he wasn't really that good, or nobody thought he was gonna be that good. But no, I think he's a top three safety in terms of zone. I don't know if you can name three other free safeties with better zone covers than him in the NFL. So I think he'll develop really good, and I think he'll play really good. I mean, cover three, I'm just gonna sit him back there, and I don't think anybody can throw that way. So,
Oh, he's definitely one of the best like middle fielders in the NFL.
oh, for
It's
sure, his
probably
speed is he's fast, he's
Earl's just number
rangy,
one
smart.
by far, obviously,
I think
and
it's
then
Earl, Malik Hooker, and then
and
Jesse
then
Bates.
either Jesse Bates or Eddie. Those two are
Yeah,
pretty neck to neck, isn't
but
it?
Eddie does a little bit different. He's more of a he's more of hybrid, I'd say, than Jesse
Yeah,
Bates.
and Eddie Jackson, he makes the more highlight plays, so a lot of people will say like, because he has all those pick sixes and stuff. But he gambled a lot, so I mean, him having Amos back there who really didn't make mistakes actually really benefited Eddie Jackson because he was able to just jump routes all the time. So I mean,
Right.
we'll see now with him having haha if he'll probably still put up the interceptions, but he'll probably get burned a good amount. And Jesse Bates, he doesn't make as many mistakes. I mean, he doesn't put up the highlight pick sixes,
Yeah.
but he
The,
can
the
force a few turnovers.
Right. The big thing with Jesse Bates that a lot of people were concerned about was his tackling, and then he fucking led the team in tackling. So that was, I mean, so that was weird. It was bad because safety should never lead a team in tackling. That's why our linebackers were so trash. But I mean, yeah, if his knock was tackling, comes out and tackles. So shit, I think he's gonna be a pretty good player.
They said Greedy's didn't get drafted because
I don't know if I
of his
buy that.
Yeah, because of his tackling. I mean, I feel like it had to be something else because
I think it was. I think it was his interviews, man.
it had
I
to
think
be
it was
because
his interviews.
Greedy is like if you just watch his he was shutting down receivers easily.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why he would fall so far just because he couldn't tackle. You don't want your corners to have to tackle. You want them to cover receivers. It doesn't really make sense.
Exactly. Well, and he's a man corner, and you're gonna tell me that teams are gonna draft Rock Ya-Sin and fucking DeAndre Baker over him to play man?
Exactly.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was interesting. But all right, next question. What are you expecting from your team year one? Like, what are your kind of goals? I know in this Madden it's a lot different. You know, our old Madden 19 goals. I'm sure me and you probably both be 15-1. But in this Madden,
I don't know.
Losing games is gonna be more common.
So I mean, just looking at my schedule, I actually like the schedule. Open up at Seahawks. I play Carlos week 2, Bills week 3. I don't know. I think I can get the division. I think I'll drop definitely a couple games. Probably 4, 5, maybe even 6. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's a tough division. It just depends on it just depends on how everybody's playing. I think the Ravens will be good just because running seems to be really good.
Yeah, and having Lamar.
Yeah, and having Lamar is always fucking.
Well, because King Mark's actually really good, so that's gonna be a really fun division to watch. And I love how, like I said earlier with Booth, like I love how you guys all are a fan of your team, so that just makes it even more. Like,
yeah, I was telling Booth the other day, I was like, man, I wish we could have gotten Holland on the Browns because he's like a diehard Browns fan. We would have had all 4 teams like real big fans. So.
Yeah, Holland is actually pretty good, isn't
he? Yeah, I picked him to win the NFC North.
Oh wow, so that would make that even harder.
Well, I mean, you got the Bears roster, and
the
Bears roster is probably the best in the division, and combo that with the fact that everybody in the division is pretty much the same in terms of talent. So. Went with Holland.
Yeah, I mean, besides Lions, to me.
What, you think Lions is better?
Oh, you mean you mean like team wise or user?
No, I mean user wise.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant team wise. I think the Lions are pretty far behind the Packers, and because besides that, those 3 teams have really good rosters. Just the Lions are so far behind.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks for them.
I agree with that.
All right, last question. You can answer yourself if you want, but. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl in year 1? Or who's your prediction?
Shit. I gotta go with you just because the Saints. I think you'll win season 1 just because the Saints roster right now is in pretty much the best place it can be in.
Oh yeah, because sooner or later.
In terms of money and players and who you gotta sign and. All that shit. Like right now is probably the best year like your team can be set up. So with that being said, I mean Drew Brees, I don't even know if he's gonna retire in the game. I don't know if the game's gonna hold you or not. Obviously, if you win the Super Bowl, I hope he fucking doesn't retire.
What did you hear Booth's podcast where I talked about that?
No, I didn't.
So actually, I did a sim because I was doing like the test for the league to see I think I was doing to see if like the coaches mode had, or the owners mode had the scenarios, and Drew Brees didn't retire after year 1, and I got second in the division. But his contract that he wanted the next year was 1 year and like $27.5 million, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
So if I have to pay him that, I'm gonna have to let a few people go.
Exactly.
All right, but that's my 5 questions for you. I think Floyd's baby duties have taken over. So, I mean, you can stay in here and discuss the power rankings if you want. Cause I'm just gonna go.
I'll stay if.
Yeah. You don't have them up, so I'll say the name and then we can discuss the position.
Oh, I got them up, but it's It might be a little delay, so you could just go and say whatever.
Okay, yeah. So we're at number 23 right now, which was the Cardinals. So we're gonna start off the power rankings. Sorry, Floyd, but I gotta wrap my podcast up too. Don't want it to be ridiculously long. So going number 22, they have the Texans with Serdapsky, which they just made a move. I think was that today when they got Duke Johnson. Or was that yesterday?
Today.
Was it today? It's been a long day for me today with all my interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So they got Duke Johnson. So that's definitely gonna help their running back room because Lamar Miller, I don't know, he's like to me the definition of average. Like he's very replaceable, but Duke Johnson's a very good receiving back.
The Andy Dalton of running backs.
Basically, the offensive line is horrible. But you have Watson, you have Hopkins. I think his thing was he had serious. He said there was serious issues up front, but the wide receivers and quarterback are talented for the offense, and then defensively they are surrounded by stars and then average players. So I think that's why he ranked him at 22. Which I think Serdapsky's pretty good. I think he'll rise him in the ranks, but the offensive line, especially with how fast the pass rush is in Madden 20, and having one of probably the worst offensive lines in the game, that's gonna be tough.
Right. And you're playing in a division with really good fucking defensive lines.
Like the Jags, that Josh Allen and Ngakoue and Calais Campbell are gonna destroy that line. And then the thing is, you can't pass fast on them because they are probably the best. They're definitely the best cornerback duo in the league.
Right.
So you're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if he blocked his tight end a lot, or at least his running back.
Yeah.
All right. So number 21 is the Jets with "Make You Bleed." That's Drift's boy. I actually really like the Jets. Like I'm kind of like a closet Jets fan, I guess. I really like Jamal Adams.
Man, I totally agree. I saw like NFL posted like the Jets their first like drive, and fucking what's the dude Sam Darnold goes down and like 100% completion, scores a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, don't be surprised if the Jets make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
like they got a solid little team. Not gonna lie.
Like C.J. Mosley, that signing was. I mean, they paid him a ton of money, but he's a top linebacker in the NFL. And then obviously Le'Veon Bell is going to help the run game, and honestly, he's going to help develop Sam Darnold. Wide receiver corners could use a little work, but drafting Quinnen Williams and Ja'Kai Polite, who's probably both of them probably start week 1.
Well, they signed Jamison Crowder in free agency.
Oh, I actually forgot about that. That's actually like a low key signing because he's pretty. He was dominant in the slot for the Redskins. So, and then Jamal Adams is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I love that man.
I love Jamal.
Like I love his energy. I loved him in college, and I love him in the NFL. So
he has a YouTube channel, if you didn't know, by the way.
Yeah, I've been watching his videos recently. I've been trying to catch back up. I like his videos are nice, but I haven't seen your friend play at all in Madden 20, so I'm not sure how. I'm sure he might struggle at first, just because everyone I think struggles at first, just with how hard defense is and how much you have to adjust.
Right.
But I can see him making a little run because the other users in that foo is the Patriots, and then they have who's Flynn?
HBK on Dolphins,
and then Flynn
on Bills.
So in that division, he could. I think you think he could take a game off foo if he.
Yeah, but the thing is what he'll do is he'll take a game off Foo, or he might even take 2 games off Foo, and then he'll drop 2 games to Flynn and HBK.
Yeah, he's a hot and cold player for sure.
Oh, he's real hot and cold. That's definitely true.
But he has some nice pieces to develop. I can see him. Floyd said, "But good God, are those uniforms hideous?" I actually don't hate him that much, surprisingly.
I don't hate him that much either.
I like the black ones. The black ones are nice.
Yeah, black ones are clean.
But I mean, Nike's trying to do the same thing with every team, though, is give them like a nice black alternate, which is kind of frustrating, but kind of the same like with the Browns, I guess. But they don't really have black, but they have like the same.
It's like the dark, it's the dark fucking brown.
All right, number 20 is our beloved Kamish Booth with the Broncos.
I don't know.
Booth?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the Jets and the Texans should be a little bit higher. Broncos.
I don't know. Booth is like the hottest Cole, like plays so good, but it's in the same game. That's like your friend. He has hot and cold games. Booth has hot and cold like quarters. Like we played like a test game, and he was tearing me up with Philip Lindsay one quarter, and then the next quarter he was just like throwing dumb passes. It's just like if Booth focuses for an entire game, I feel like he could take some games off. But in a division with Chino, Lil Shadow, and Floyd, both with very strong teams. I mean, I would consider the Raiders a decently strong team, just because. I mean, I guess not decently strong, but a solid team in Madden.
Right.
I think it's gonna be hard for Booth. I think Booth could pull some upsets for sure, but just winning consistently right away will be tough.
Exactly.
All right, I'm moving to number 19. We have the guy who I hated for a day, Kinglemer. He with his Seahawks. I played with the Seahawks. I feel terrible for him. That pass rush is non-existent. Well, I mean, I played the Steelers, so I guess the pass rush being non-existent is probably pretty realistic because the Steelers have top offensive line. But that team still has Bobby Wagner, who literally just makes like I think he has the hit stick thing, so he literally just hit sticks like they don't fumble every time, but he literally hit sticks every single play. Like I think he had 11 tackles, and I didn't use them once, and like 10 of them were hit sticks, which sooner or later you're gonna get a few fumbles like throughout the season. And the offense is surprised. I was tearing the Steelers defense up pretty well. I mean, neither of us have played with those teams, so obviously, but DK Metcalf is actually solid because obviously he's straight line fast. So if you put him on deep crossers, fades, wheels, just things to get him moving in a straight line, you can definitely use DK Metcalf, and then you still have Tyler Lockett for all your underneath passes. But losing Frank Clark really killed that pass rush, and having average corners and losing Earl Thomas, no star safety anymore. It's literally just Bobby Wagner on defense.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now go.
I think.
No, you're good.
I think Chris Carson's really fucking good.
So. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention the running back. Chris Carson was a beast.
He super underrated player. He should have made the top 100.
Yeah, especially last year, because he really took off last year. I don't think he'll be a top 100 player next year, because I think they'll give probably Penny a lot of carries just because they drafted him in the first round. But no, he's definitely
it seems.
solid.
I don't know if I would use Penny as a third down back, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's a solid receiver. You can definitely use both of them, and I hope Kinglemer does, because you have two really good running backs. You have Russell. You have a solid offense. It's just that defense is going to struggle.
You gotta run the ball with that line too.
Yeah, exactly.
Or else you're going to get torn up.
All right, next, I already pulled it up, so you guys already saw it, but it's the Jaguars with Joe Long. I basically think what's holding this team back is the wide receivers and the quarterback. Obviously, Foles is going to be pretty low in overall, and then they don't really have a wide receiver that can get open consistently, especially against good corners. So, but besides that, the Jags are stacked. Like
Exactly.
because they drafted Jawan Taylor, and that fixed their tackle position, and they still have the good, I can't remember, Norwell and then some other dude as guard at center.
Their center is what's that guy's name?
Yeah, isn't it like I can't? Yeah, I'm, but he's solid, one top 5 center probably, and then Norwell, very solid guard. So that line's good. Fournette, if he doesn't get hurt, is good. And then the defense is obviously stacked. I don't know if I would
re-sign him, but yeah.
Oh yeah, if I would definitely not re-sign him just because he just gets hurt way too much in Madden. All right, the next one is the Ravens with King Mark, who honestly I think they're kind of high for if you're just going by team overall, but obviously Floyd likes the direction the Ravens are going, even though personally I disagree, but he just said the good news is Lamar Jackson can only go up in passing ability, and he really has to be a better passer. So because the Chargers really found out how to stop the run game, I do think having healthy Hollywood Brown will be a big difference for them, just because he can make people miss. They didn't really have a receiver that could do that before. they had a bunch of average receivers. So I do think he'll be a big part. But losing C.J. Mosley and Zadarius Smith and Terrell Suggs on defense, but they did pick up Earl Thomas, so I don't hate the 17 spot for them. And then now moving to 16, we have Carlos with the 49ers with the GOAT Jimmy G. We'll see how Jimmy G is when he's actually healthy and not only playing 4 games. They have a super solid young core, and honestly, they've also brought in Quan Alexander, who, if he stays healthy, is very good. He does miss a lot of tackles, but he's top coverage linebacker in the game. So,
Definitely.
I think Carlos was actually beating up on TCG last night.
Oh, instant.
what's
Floyd's
up?
here, by the way. I don't know if you have him muted.
Yeah, I do have him muted. I'll unmute him. 1 second. The GOAT's back.
Hello.
I can hear you now. I muted you,
geez.
so... All right, so we moved on a little bit just because
No, good.
I have to finish the podcast pretty soon. I should be
Yeah.
done by 10:45. So
Good.
I just talked about Carlos.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're
I'll
at-
tell you one. I'll tell you the
Yeah.
hardest thing in the world you'll ever do in your life is get a baby to sleep, and then the second hardest thing you'll ever do is get them back to sleep. So
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
I don't
so
deal
you-
with that for a long time.
yeah. So you're talking about the 49ers.
Yep, I basically just said about how they picked up Quan, and I talked about Jimmy G being healthy.
Yeah.
Basically
They got
covered.
sh-
I've been reading.
shit
I've
ton
been
of
going
speed on
through.
the outside.
I've been going through your kind of your little takes, and then I've been kind of spinning off on it myself, and then just been adding in.
Cool.
So we can move up to number 15 now.
Yeah, so 15 is the Falcons. Obviously, it's a really good team. It's got a lot of pieces. You've got a chance to put things together. And you obviously think highly enough of them that you think they're going to beat you and win the division. But I think that they got a good shot. And here's a fun, interesting little fact from Adam Schefter. This is the first team with a fully starting offensive line that has every one of them are all former first-round draft picks for the first time in the common draft era. So they've got a
That's a pretty cool
good
stat, actually.
Yeah, so a offensive line with a lot of potential is pretty good, and I mean, offensive line is huge, as you know. So, and then of course you got Julio Jones on the outside. You're gonna win ball games simply off Julio alone, and yeah. So,
Yeah, definitely having Julio in my division kind of scares me. I have to having Marshawn House, but he's one of the biggest game changers in the NFL. So on the
No doubt
offensive side
about
of the ball, so.
definitely gonna have to be double teaming him to some degree, oftentimes depending on what the situation is. That's gonna
Yeah,
open up things
at
on the
least
backside.
shade to his side, the DBs, just because that man, as you saw, he almost single-handedly stopped the comeback from the Patriots by having that crazy catch, but then
Yeah.
they still found a way to choke it away. But all right, let's move to 14.
So 14, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is a team that is a lot better than what they show. They got a lot of good pieces all the way across the board. I think they have the potential to be a win now type of team. It just depends on that quarterback play and if it can be consistent. And that offensive line has gotten some upgrades in the draft and in the free agency, but in a very competitive division, it's going to be tough to see what they do.
Yeah, and honestly, in real life, I do think Kirk Cousins gets a lot of flack, but with having that offensive line and a few more pieces to at least make it a little better, I think Kirk Cousins takes the next step.
They just
Yep.
drafted Garrett Bradbury. at
Exactly.
center, so hopefully their line can.
It's just that third wide receiver spot. They have probably the best duo of wide receivers, but that third wide receiver spot they're gonna need to find somebody for that.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook needs to stay healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's a huge piece too, because they honestly don't have a running. Because I mean, a couple years ago they had Jerick McKinnon, but now they don't really have any solid running back behind him because they lost Latavius Murray too.
Yeah. So at 13, we got the Cowboys. Best offensive line in the game, best running back in the game, one of the best receivers in the game, got a below average quarterback. That's their problem.
I'm surprised you have
But-
some low, to be honest.
It's because I
Yeah,
think
Dak?
the quarterback holds him back. I think Dak holds him back.
I don't know. I think personally for Madden, I don't think Dak is a terrible quarterback, but I mean, obviously in real life he definitely holds them back. But in Madden, I think even with Dak, they're probably the top roster to build around, or top 3
Definitely.
roster.
Until you got to re-sign all those guys, and that's gonna be a really difficult process.
And then
Gotta be really smart there.
I love how many different views there are on Dak, and I think that's great because we could just like, talk football all day and talk opinions. Yeah, I'll shut up now.
No, but you're absolutely right. You could spend a whole 60 minutes just talking nothing about Dak and different opinions of
Yeah,
him.
because I know me
And
and
the
Goof
Cowboys in
like
general.
Dak. Well, we don't like Dak, but we feel he's very viable.
I don't think I've ever been in a league where the Cowboys are dominant, so I really hope they're fucking good in this next Madden.
Yeah.
Nolan, if you're watching this, man, like no pressure, but
Nolan, you better win
You
the
got a
division.
stacked fucking roster.
That's his team. That's his team. He loves them, so hopefully he'll up their game.
Yeah, please just run the ball. Zeke literally has the X factor where his line blocks better.
Yeah.
Like, run it.
So then going to number 12 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think losing Le'Veon Bell, losing AB, those were some huge shoes to fill. Juju, but I think it presents a great opportunity for Juju to shine, which he's an absolute stud, as you learned the other night. There, Instant. When I Matt Floyd beat Instant 41-38, just so you guys are aware. So
Juju had like 210 yards.
He's
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Devin Bush is freaking fast as hell, so that's good. That's good. Good addition there in the linebacking core.
Yeah, we got to see how Liam, because Liam, the future GM, let's see how he builds his team with such a stacked division with Drift and King Marketing. Let's see if he can keep up with those users by his GM skills.
Definitely. So then moving to number 11, I got the Carolina Panthers. Team's got a lot of good pieces and a lot of potential. I am not the biggest Cam Newton fan, but I think he'll be pretty solid in Madden. Then Matt Paradis was a great addition on the offensive line. Greg Little's another good addition on the offensive line. Brian Burns fast as hell on the outside. So,
Yeah.
He already got 2 sacks tonight.
Did he really?
Yeah.
No, I'm a huge Cam Newton fan, and I also think the addition of Gerald McCoy was a very sleeper addition. And then Brian Burns could go down as a huge steal for how far he fell with how freak of an athlete he is and just a good raw pass rusher.
Definitely.
So I think that was some great additions.
Yeah. Then cracking your top 10, number 10 is the Cleveland Browns.
Medicated.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about the ultimate Madden team here.
Literally.
I don't even think I have to go much further than that. It's just the ultimate Madden team, and that's why they're in the top 10.
Yeah, they literally have everything you could want.
They gave Chubb an X Factor, didn't they?
Yeah, or he has a superstar. He doesn't have an X Factor. He's a superstar, but not a superstar X Factor, which is ridiculous. So, I mean, Kareem Hunt's probably going to be a free agent after 1 year because no way you resign him when you have Chubb on a deal for 2 years.
Right.
So, the hunt for Chubb is going to be big. But yeah, this obviously just the best Madden team you could have, literally.
Right. I mean, Kareem Hunt is suspended for the first 8 games.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just the thing. They're the best Madden team, and they're all young. So it's like, it's the best team to build, too.
Definitely. Then number 9, I've got the Green Bay Packers, a team that is definitely capable of winning the Super Bowl. And Quimbo is a great user, so he's only going to make them better. Adrian Amos in the secondary, Darnell Savage rookie, could be good. Then you got Rashawn Gary, and it'll be interesting to see how fast he is on the defensive line and the kind of the damage that he can do.
Yeah, they also have a really young team, except for Aaron Rodgers. But them cutting Mike Daniels, I think, in Madden terms, kind of just it's just a plug and play for Rashawn Gary, just to get him snaps. So for Madden, I don't hate it at all because now he gets to play his rookie.
Definitely. Number 8, I got the Los Angeles Rams. This is a team that made it to the Super Bowl last year, but I just don't think that they were all that great. Look, they lost. They got dominated in a couple of games last year against some solid talent. So there's no really reason to think that they were really that great. I'm sorry, Booth. They made plays whenever they needed to happen, and they ended up making the Super Bowl. But Goff is very average. Sue and Joyner are gone. And can Todd Gurley make it through the season? Who knows? Cooper Kupp, can he make it through the season? I don't know. Let's see.
Maybe we'll
Gerald
see.
Gerald Everett's there though, so that's good.
The GOAT. Best tight end in
Yeah.
the league.
South, go South. Number 7, I got the New England Patriots. Tom Brady's unstoppable. If you even kind of out of the zone, he's pretty unstoppable. But especially inside the zone, I mean, good luck. You better bring everything you have to try and get a blitz on, and get the sack.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then they're in a super weak division, so I just, they're going to run the table. Fu's going to do a really great job with them, and then it'll be interesting to see what they are in year 2.
Yeah, and as an Oregon fan, I watched a lot of N'Keal Harry over the past couple of years, and I love him as a player. So I really hope Fu uses him and develops him into a solid receiver that he could be. Because I feel like N'Keal Harry might go into more of the Gronk role as more of the just like the mismatch problem that they have on the field that Brady can just trust and just throw it up.
Yeah. And then in number 6, they got the Chicago Bears. Awesome killer defense. It's going to go a long way, especially in a game that's really hard to play defense. So there's a little bit of a boost there. But there's a lot of good players that left. Adrian Amos, surprised Callahan, some pretty solid players. So can they play? Can they be replaced by Clinton Dix and Buster Skrine? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Dave Montgomery's a great addition to replace Jordan Howard, though. I like him.
Yeah, I really like that addition, but it's just will Trubisky play well? That's kind of the biggest thing for him. If he can get Trubisky to playing in a top level, then this is a top team easily.
Yeah.
How do you have the Bears above the Rams of all people? They don't even have a quarterback.
Because it's a better team all the way around.
You can't call Mitch Trubisky a better quarterback than Jared Goff though, and say that Goff is average when Mitch Trubisky is terrible.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The difference is the defense is significantly better on the Bears team, and
But offense scores points.
Yeah, but defense stops points from being scored. Defense wins championships.
All right, let's move to the top 5. Who can argue this forever?
Cracking into the top 5, we got Lil Shadow with the Chiefs. Got arguably the best quarterback in the game, the most dynamic quarterback in the game. Tyreek Hill gonna freaking fly, but he's not even suspended anymore.
Yeah, he avoided that somehow.
Yeah, but I think the defense has got some decent pieces with Frank Clark and Tyrann Mathieu, but aside from that, I just don't think it's all that great. So I think that is gonna hurt him. And I think Lil Shadow's going to make a lot of turnovers simply because I think he's going to try to be forcing the ball with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, with Mahomes' little no-look passes that are in the game and just ability to roll out and just chuck it 60. Yeah, I could see Lil Shadow getting a little over pass happy and turning the ball.
I think so.
Especially with Tyreek Hill going deep, he'll just think my player will win.
I think he's going to be a little too confident. He's going to get picked off.
Yeah,
quite a bit. That's just me personally. And then the run game, who knows about that run game at all. And then I have myself with the Los Angeles Chargers at 4, and this really comes down to the defense. Arguably one of the best secondaries in the game. Derwin James is a freaking monster, forcing fumbles across the field, breaking up passes. I think the biggest weakness for the Chargers is offensive line. So if I can get them to overperform, I can be pretty balanced on the run game and the pass game. I think I've got a shot to make this team pretty freaking solid because the defense will make some turnovers, and turnovers are really key.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to revamp the offensive line, but that can definitely wait till the offseason. Don't need to make any huge trades for no reason because you do have to pay a bunch of people. Might as well get some rookie deals. But even with this line, you can still win. So
yeah,
the secondary will carry you because this is a passing league and having, to me, the best secondary in the league. Very young, also very talented.
Secondary is going to do a great job, and that's going to give the pass rush. Pass rush is going to be freaking crazy. So if you
pair a good pass rush with a good pass coverage, is very good defense.
Yeah, you slide to the right to block Joey Bosa, then Melvin Ingram on the other side is just going to eat from the left side. So Tillery, I think, is pretty solid too. So
yeah, he's a good run stopper too. So
yeah,
at least
I'm really excited to see Nasir Adderley because I know Liam loves him, so I'm excited to see what kind of rating.
I think he can be really good.
I think so too.
All
I
right,
agree.
let's move to number 3.
Number 3, I got Vandy and the Colts. Not only is Vandy really freaking good, quietly very good, sneaky very good, but that offense, that team overall is pretty freaking solid. Another great offensive line, which is huge. Um, Decent pass rush, pretty young, decent secondary. Um, Paris Campbell was my favorite player in Madden 19. Think that's going to be a star for him. And then Marlon Mack is really great too in the run game and the pass game. Pretty good dual threat stuff there. So I think it's
Not to
pretty
mention
justified. Having them in the top 3.
Rocky Sin, Malik Hooker,
Yeah.
Darius Leonard.
And I think it's just like this team didn't lose anybody. They just picked up just some extra people. Like he was saying, they picked up Houston. They picked up just some like good players that can step in. Rockyson, a very aggressive corner that just kind of fits their scheme. They didn't lose anybody. They picked up a bunch of people, and then like you said, Vandy, very sneakily good. He doesn't really say much in chat, but he wins games.
Yeah, and he takes everything. He just takes what you give him. He plays exactly how you want to play, how you need to play in order to get yourself in position.
His game's going to translate very well over.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, now into the top 2.
Yeah, so I got the New Orleans Saints number 2. Another team that's in win now mode. Instant, you're going to do great with them. I have no doubt about it. But I think I could have put you at number 1, and I think that would have been okay. I think that would have been understandable. But one interesting thing is going to be is your interior line.
Yeah.
With the rookie, we're going to see. You've got to play the Rams. You've got to play the Eagles. You got to play some pretty solid teams with really good interior defensive lines. So if Eric McCoy isn't up to snuff, if he can't block them, then you're going to.
Well, I know EA killed his rating, but I think Liam will make it a little better to make it a little more manageable. But yeah, the interior is definitely a struggle. But at least when I play edge teams, I've had the best tackle duo in the league, and then I think Jared Cook was sneakily a great addition.
He really was.
He was one of the best tight ends in the NFL last year, and Drew Brees uses his tight ends, and he knows how to get the ball spread around.
Yeah, I agree. Great pass rush, great secondary. Your linebackers are okay. DeMario Davis is good, but the rest of that, they're pretty lacking.
That's one position I definitely need to upgrade.
I think your problem though too is if you lose Kamara, you lose Brees, or you lose Michael Thomas to injury, and I think you are like hurting.
Oh yeah,
badly. So you got to be healthy, and unfortunately for you too, you don't have any receivers to throw the ball to other than Michael Thomas at the moment.
Yeah, I really don't.
Unless you can find you somebody else too. So if defense is able to take away Michael Thomas, Jared Cook can only do so much. Kamara, hopefully you can contain Kamara as much as you can. You might have some difficulties there depending on how your pieces, those foundational pieces on your offense play.
Now the number 1, the last thing of the podcast.
Number 1 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. This team is loaded to the brim across the board, offense, defense. There's not one single thing on that team that's lacking right now. I had you in my first edition. I had you sitting number 1, and then the more I was looking at this Eagles team, I was like, there's no way I can justify putting them behind you. I got to put the Eagles number 1.
Yeah, the Eagles team is ridiculous. I 100% agree. They have the most depth in the NFL. They have depth at every single position, no matter where it is across the board, receiver, tight end, line. They literally drafted a first-round tackle when they have 2 solid tackles. Like they just have players all over the board. So I completely agree with the Eagles being number 1.
Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. Yeah. I'm gonna post this too with my summaries and everything. I'll post it just like I always do.
Yeah.
And I'll update it every single week as well.
Yep. So thank you, Floyd, for coming on. This podcast has actually been a little longer than I want. We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes right now. So we're gonna wrap it up right now. Thank you, Drift, if you're still in here, for coming on, helping me out
No problem.
While Floyd had to take care of daddy duties. And thank you, Booth. Next podcast, I'm gonna try to get just some more users on, ask a few more questions. I'm gonna get different questions every single podcast. I'm gonna do one of these every 4 weeks. So anybody have some closing comments, or are we good?
No. Are you gonna be doing all of yours on YouTube?
I'm going to try, yes, and get new graphics every week or every 4 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Did you go over the scenario generator at all?
I wasn't. I'm gonna redo. I think we should do something either tomorrow or whenever we can both get around, and we can just make a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, that works perfectly for me. Let's just
because
do
then
a
they
little-
can watch the YouTube video just to see exactly how it goes. Because if we did that right now, this podcast would be up to 2.5
long.
hours.
Yeah, let's just do a little snippet.
Yeah, I can
Snippet time.
I can do it tomorrow morning, but you probably work, so I think Saturday would be best.
Yeah, that works. For
All
me.
right, so have a good Madden. Hopefully we're gonna starting in the next couple days. I mean, we should be starting in the next couple days. Hopefully we're starting tomorrow. Cross your fingers.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Yep. All right, peace out, guys.
All right, see y'all.